Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today we're going to be talking about Vona, black-white vampires. I didn't actually start out to build another vampire deck when I did this because I thought, well, black-white vampires is going to be pretty hard to do. However, with Ixalan and Commander 17, it's actually not. I tried to do the heavy lifelink thing and because I want to be able to use this ability. I didn't put in like untapped creatures so that I could do it a whole bunch because, you can only do it during your turn. And are we really wanting to, pay that much life? It's good as a, stopgap measure. But anyway, here's what we got. First, let's go through just the good old fashioned vampires. Some of these guys are new. I mean, this is a 1-drop, 1/1 flyer with an ability, so I had to put it in there. Bloodcrazed Paladin. For each creature that died this turn. Man. The Conquistador. Mind Eater. Of course, now we're into stuff you know. Patron of the Vein. And we'll try to blow through some of these cards that are not new. Aetherborn. Now, the Hex Mage does not have lifelink. If you'll notice, lifelink is a common thread here because, I don't know, I just went with the lifelink thing. I can't really. But it is a good, really good card. Malkir. Let's get these new guys over here. The Invoker, you can actually get there with the 8 mana. I have had 8 mana at the end of my turn and been like, all right, I wish I had something to do with it. Here you can. Or at the end of your opponent's turn, rather. The Vampire Nighthawk, I dare say probably, excuse me, one of the best vampires ever made. Love this guy. He is way above the curve. We have, of course, Sangromancer, Bloodline Necromancer. Let's see if we can clear up this text here. There we go. You get a vamp back. That's pretty cool. The Noble. Dark Imposter. Now, it's expensive, but the ability is removal and self-pump, and just, you may get some abilities out of it. Either way, it's pretty good. We have our Planeswalker Wrath of God. Butcher of Malkir. And since we are like hardcore vamps, I put in, Anawan because he's pretty good when all you're playing is vamps. Blood Baron. He's Orzhov and a vamp. Tithe Drinker. Blood Lord. Blood Artist. And Captivating. I didn't use the Nocturnus because we do have a lot of white cards in here. I just felt like I wouldn't be getting maximum value out of the Vampire Nocturnus. Now, for the new guys, Pointed Deacon. Now, some of these are not exactly, awesome, or like this guy. Paying the 2 life. By the way, this was a bomb and limited, but I don't know. Of course, the Bishop of Rebirth, which can get your Vampire Hexmage back. Now, it does say target creature. People are saying that this is the new Sun Titan, that it only has the attack ability, but it's not. This only gets a creature. It cannot get back your Terramorphic Expanse, or your Evolving Wilds, or whatever, I play with those. Y'all probably play with expensive fetch lands, but this can't do that. This is just creature. But at first glance, it looks like, oh, it's a mini Sun Titan. Almost. I love that this doesn't say play as a sorcery or you can only do it on your turn or whatever, because that way at the end of your opponent's turn you can just, meh, I'm going to bring this guy back. The other bishop. Wow. I mean, this could potentially be deadly. Just a whole lot of tokens, maybe. I don't know. Paladin. You get one of them little guys when he comes out. Now, Sanctum Seeker is, whoa, I mean, this, yeah, not enough good words. Each opponent triggers on every vampire. What? The Inspiring Cleric. It's a vampire. It gains you some life. It's a body. I do have both of these in there with the creatures because as far as I'm concerned, this is a creature card, you know. It's going to, I mean, all it does is put those guys into play. Of course, that puts 2 and that puts 3. Bloodletter. Just a ping, whatever, but it does fly, so the regular lifelink guy, the bear, and then the Legion. By the way, don't go deep on draft with this guy because I tried to draft a whole bunch. 1/3s as your baseline creature, not amazing. As far as we're not really high end on the mana cost. Some of the vampires aren't cheap, but it's more of fixing than yeah, I'm playing with that just because, you know, it does the life thing, but it's more fixing than ramping. And I tried the rest of this. Let's go ahead and, you know, the Orzhov staples here. We have Mortify, Utter End, Obsidious Aid, and Merciless Eviction. Obviously, the Anguished Unmaking or would be in there had I owned it, or Vindicate, or, you know, those are awesome. Now, Debt to the Deathless fits our theme with, you know, you lose, I gain. So, True Conviction is going to give them all double strike, and the ones that don't have lifelink, it'll, you know, it'll do. Go for the Throat's very thematic with, because I mean that's exactly what they do. Urge to Feed. Any number. You may tap any number, and it's an instant. Here again, EOT. Oh, I forgot the other Orzhov card I love to play with because it's just exile. There is no if, but, maybe, check that. No. Is it a dude? Then it's exile. Love that card. Now, Siphon Soul is just for the life gain, I'll admit, because as far as life gain goes, most of the time this is 3 mana, 6 life. Obviously, the bigger the game, the better the card, but also the more enemies you make. And, you know, if you want to save this, you can, like, you know, kill people with it if it's late enough in the game. And do have a lot of amps, so the banner, you know, pumping them all and play 1, draw a card. That's pretty relevant. I'm trying this one out. Another one of those straight life gain cards. I'm not like hardcore on them. Well, I guess I am, but trying these out simply because they're new, and, you know, here again, there's a whole bunch of cards in these decks that I've never cast because they're all brand new. Blood Tribute. To shoot somebody for half their life, and then, oh, if you got a vamp you want to tap, you can gain that life. So that's, we can't talk vampire. Oh, push the air out. We can't talk vampires without Blade of the Blood Chief. Now, C17 gave us the new blood here. This would be really cool to get things like, oh my god, I want an Elvish champion. I want to steal an Elvish champion. maybe even a Goblin King. Because not only does it change it to, say, Elvis Champion, it changed it to a vampire. It now says vampire creatures gain +1/+1 and Forest Walk. Oh my gosh, it's awesome. Anyway. Conqueror's Galleon, because our vampire conquistador friends had to get somewhere, on a ship. And I don't even remember what this thing does. Transformed. Oh, it's the 2/4/6 land. Draw card or discard, or then regrowth. So, albeit expensive. Vampire's Zeal. Now, I like this. 1 mana +2/+2 first strike. That's pretty good. Vraska's Contempt. You're just exiling a creature or walker. And you gain 2 life. I'll admit that's what had my, that's what stood out. It is an instant. It probably cost a little much. But I guess they had to do that for the exile, whatever. Now, Bloodchief Ascension is going to fit thematically because it's, the Bloodchief vampires, whatever. But it's also not bad. I mean, you can trigger this fairly easily. And here, because there's 15,000 lines of text here, let me clean it up. At the beginning of each end step. So you don't have to be the one to deal the damage. It doesn't even have to be your turn. So there is, what do we got to have? 3 counters? 3 counters. Wow. Now, granted, this is not probably going to outright win you the game unless somebody decides to bring mill and wait till this is loaded and oh my god. But slow incremental advantage. This is one of those 1-drops that you can actually turn 1 drop out there. People will forget about it because in the early turns, nobody's taking damage. And all it's got to have is 3. There's a very good possibility later game when you drop this card, it comes loaded to you. It's loaded before your next turn. So, the Wrath of Gods get fun. Board wipes of any kind. Yeah, it's pretty good. And our last card is, good old-fashioned spot removal, STP. Well, that is what I have got for Vona. It was actually not as hard to build as I thought it would be. I did kind of do the whole the tribal thing a little bit. Looking through the crazy lands. Obviously, I went the path of ancestry. Now, I like the church there because it, it does the thing if you've got some leftover mana. And then this card is ridiculous. I'm going to talk about this card for a minute. Wow. Now, not too long ago, this would have been rare. The upside here is, yes, you can, or the downside is you can only spend that mana of any color on the chosen tribe. That's fine. You cannot use it to cast artifacts. Wait a minute, I don't need it to cast artifacts because it also taps for a colorless. You cannot use it to cast a sorcery or, enchantment or whatever. But it also taps for a colorless. So there's really no downside. It doesn't even come into play tapped. You know how amazing that is? There's a reason why this is a what is it, like a $2 uncommon? It's amazing. Anyway, that's what I've got. I do appreciate y'all watching. Y'all let me know what you think. But right now, we're going to shuffle and cut.